Hey guys, Ardrick here. I've been getting a lot of requests on the fighter squadron and how to go about getting the hero ship every time. Uh, I have actually come up with a formula for that. Uh, Completely doable solo, which is what I do. But if you want to make this work, the most efficient method that you possibly can, you really want three people. And the reason I say three people is because you need someone that can watch your back, and if you die, can take care of the hero pickup as well. The other thing is you want one person to run patrol on the bottom uh, to kill enemy fighters that are going low, because uh, the the real trick to this is not only do you get the hero power up, but you want to stop them from getting it, which you can't see theirs. So you want to run a low patrol to eliminate people who are diving low, and you want to be able to smash them quick. So on the rebel side, it's the most fun to actually get and to be able to stop them, because the uh, the A-wing is the fastest ship, which most people know by now, and you're able to do a lot with it. Uh, it's a little more versatile. The Imperial side, you can get into the fight faster, so that works out for people wanting to run patrol. But you notice I already picked up the Falcon. Um, Jakku is one of the harder maps to do it on, though, because of the spawning setup. It's a little bit harder to kind of judge where it's going to be. There's a couple of decent spawn locations that you'll learn. I can kind of show you, but to be honest with you, it's still got a sense of randomness to it that's a little bit hard to judge. In general, though, look around the trenches and the peaks. I mean, those are the two places. On Jakku here, there's a little area down here. It's going to be really hard to show you in the Falcon, but it's somewhere along in here, I believe. There's like this little, what do you call it? Little structure, I guess is the easiest way for me to put it. And that structure has where a spawn point in it, and it can actually pop in there for both sides. That being said, the thing's a little bit hard to grab, because if you miss when you go to get it, then you're gonna blow up, and if you blow up, the hero ship goes out of play. But as you can see with the Falcon, easily my favorite ship, because I can just ram the Slave 1 and game over. You can't do that with the Slave 1 to the Falcon, because the Falcon is an overpowered, hunky junk. So, it doesn't work quite the same. But as you saw, or you may not have seen, when I entered the game here, I always enter the game at 9 minutes and 26 seconds. The reason is because of the way that the spawn points work for the hero ships, the timer that works with them. I believe the hero ships actually spawn in around 9:20, but given the entry time and the flying time to find it, because of the way that the spawn points work out, generally speaking, 9:26 has been the time I found that was worked the most. I figured that on my own. I didn't actually go out and look anything up for it. I noticed that the spawn timer for the hero ships was a few seconds into the match. So at 9:45 I started bringing it down every few seconds, and eventually when I came to 9:26, I decided that was the best time I could find. You can come a little bit earlier, you can come in a little bit later, but the thing is, if you come in a little bit later, you risk the chance of someone else just going ahead and grabbing it before you have a chance to do anything. If you come in earlier, you run the risk of getting blown up before you can find it, which is the other issue that you would run into. And the thing is you want to try to get it in one pass. You don't really want to have to turn around and go back. It depends on the spawn though for it, because it does get weird. The spawn for it can get very, very weird and very annoying. So you could end up just smashing into the surrounding rather than just picking it up. It's also a possibility. So you got to be, you know, concerned about that. And then there's always the possibility that you're just going to get flat out beat to it. But if you're running an X or an A-wing over an X-wing, you're more than likely going to get it anyhow. And then if you run the Imperial side, generally speaking, you're going to run the TIE Interceptor because of the structure of the ship. So the TIE Fighter has a little bit more likelihood of hitting a canyon wall. It's a little bit less maneuverable. So, ironically, it being considered the fastest ship by the Imperials, it's a little bit more difficult to do what you want to do, especially in tight spaces, because there's certain maps where the hero pickup will spawn in, like I said, on Jakku, it's that little structure there. If it's on here on Tatooine, actually, there is a structure that I'll show you that you can fly through, and it's a little bit more difficult in a TIE Fighter than it is a TIE Interceptor. Also, I will point out that the Slave 1 being the weaker of the two hero ships, it's hard to get the good numbers on the Imperial side, personally speaking anyway. I don't know anybody else. Somebody else is probably just absolutely phenomenal with the Slave 1, and I'm just really bad at it. But you're always running the threat that the Millennium Falcon is just going to ram you. So, the only issue I really have with the Slave 1 is either you need to be behind the Falcon more often than not, because if he gets behind you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because he's either just going to speed up and slam through you, or he's just going to sit there and pelt you. And the Millennium Falcon is going to live longer than the Slave 1 is in general, just because of the shield. Then the other issue, I just missed my time. So this is a bad example. The other issue you run into is the Slave 1 is generally just weaker. It's a little bit harder to get through a lot of gunfights. Now on this map, the Slave 1 does spawn not constantly, but does have a pretty decent spawn on top of the ridge. But unfortunately, the gunfight has been brought immediately to this ridge. And this is actually not the map I was thinking of with the structure. The structure map is Celeste. I'm really not sure why I was thinking it was Tatooine. Slave 1 does spawn right about there a lot. If not, then it spawns, I believe, on a ridge down the way. Not a ridge, a little canyon down the way a little bit. I'm not going to evade that missile, am I? Oh, I am. Falcon's already up. Probably Slave 1's probably already out too. I didn't actually notice if somebody picked it up. I did come into the fight too late to pick it up. See what the numbers look like. Yeah, that guy is already up 4. He's probably in the Slave 1. That might be it right there. That's what it looks like, actually. Yep. Yeah. So, again, it does spawn a lot up here. I think it can spawn down here as well, but there's a little canyon carving. I think it's actually over here, if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe not. Okay, then it's up here. I think it's somewhere around in here that it can spawn. But right here, it can spawn down there as well. It's just more likely you're going to see it on that ridge near the spawn point. It's got a pretty good hit for it. And again, with the ties, you know, your biggest advantage here being that you've got this boost. So you have the advantage of being able to speed right in. And you can tell by the numbers, if someone gets in the Falcon and knows what they're doing every game, it's just game over. But to combat the Falcon as the Slave 1, the biggest thing you can really do is kind of hover close to the ground. You know, kind of run the canyons, run the lower areas there if you get the Falcon on you. You might end up hitting the ground, but to be honest with you, if you get down in a canyon and you can get the Falcon right on you and you hit something and they don't think to pull up quick enough, then you've probably eliminated the Falcon, just because a lot of people get very aggressive with it because it is such an overpowered vehicle that you can pretty much afford to be as aggressive as you want to be. and it not really negatively affect you. I have no idea why I'm still looking for the Falcon, even though I just saw the thing. See, I don't know why I was looking on the ground to pick it up.
Watch your back, hostile fighter.
See if he probably de-swallowed. No, it was the Falcon. Doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter what I do. The Falcon's got me. So again, I'll show in the next fight here the entry and general plan. Is the Imperial side, I really am bad. I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm really that good. I don't know what it is about playing the Imperial side, but just I'm really not that great at it. Yeah, I'm gonna. Or I was really bad at playing an Imperial. I don't know why I said Rebel. I'm really bad at playing an Imperial. Pretty sure I said Rebel. Of course, I wasn't honestly trying to play that round. Kinda, he was trying to show you what was going on. But as you can see, if you enter the game too late, which in that case I did 8 seconds later than what I should have, then you're risking that issue. They pushed closer to your spawn point as well. And another problem with that map, the Tatooine map, is the fact that the spawn point for the hero is oftentimes atop a ridge, or it spawns in a very inopportune location. It's closer to combat. Whereas in a lot of the other maps, it spawns closer to the ground, so you have a better chance of skimming the surface and just grabbing it. But there is a couple of points where it does spawn where you have to be very careful, especially if you pick it up, and let's say you're in the Falcon, and you're not used to it yet, because it's a giant flying brick, and you skim something, you blow it up, and then in turn, it's gone. The hero ship is going to be down. And I have not calculated the amount of time it takes from when it goes down to when it respawns. I don't know that. I believe it's about a minute. It could be quicker, could be later. Really not entirely certain. But either way, the token when it respawns is obviously not going to spawn in the same location. But I don't know the biggest trick to that. If you're in it, I guess you could figure out what time you crashed and then relocate appropriately. Almost missed the 926 on that one. So here, I don't believe the Falcon's going to spawn on this ridge, to be honest with you. I think it's going to spawn to the left or the right. Watch me be completely wrong. Considering the fact that I see nothing right now. They nearly got clipped by an NPC in the process. Interesting. Very interesting. Actually, I see no power-ups.
Imperial fighter locking on you.
There it is.
Homing missiles after you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to full throttle and just grab it. Nope. Imperial's already on me. The guy probably knows what I'm doing, for one thing. And I don't blame him. Just need to be able to evade, and there we go. See, this map is very bad about that right there. It's really bad about the fact that you're really close to the battle. The mountain range actually affects this battle more than any other map, so your elevation really comes into play when trying to do this. But the cool thing is, if you get the Falcon on this map, you can be a huge, huge jerk. And the reason is because you down throttle close to this side, and you just start shooting stuff here. And then you keep flying in this direction. You throttle up a little bit. Now when you get toward this line, see, you de-throttle it entirely and turn around. And you look for enemies. You see a lot of our people are actually getting killed. Here we go. But if you do it right, you can sit here and spawn camp everything. This is one of the few maps where you can get efficient spawn camping in the Falcon. That guy's right there. Actually, we probably need to go take out that Slave 1 first.
The Imperials just brought down a transport ship.
To be honest, not a lot of their people are dying quick enough to really be able to show you a good spawn camp setup. But the thing is if you start wiping the ships out, that guy's down. I can piss him off nicely now. can get lined up anyway. There's that guy. Oh, I missed that guy. Right here. And the reason that this is actually really efficient and nice is not only do you rack your kills up, not only do you make yourself look better, there's another thing is people will come after you. Because, oh, there's the Falcon over there. You know, it's hanging out in our spawn. Let's go kill it. And that gives your other fighters a better chance of working over the other people. But also, the number for your kill counter goes to the roof. You know, there's actual team score and all. And for whatever reason, I have no idea why people do this. They will just ram into you. And I mean, you know, ramming into the Falcon is the most efficient way to damage it. I won't lie about that. If you ram into the Falcon, you're going to take a few good hits off it. But the people sometimes just find that that's the best way to do this. I'm probably not going to make it through this one very easily. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, you pretty much lock the game down at that point. Yeah. Did lose at that time. A rarity. But, I mean, look, the score's still tallying up. So, pretty efficiently destroyed it. And being level 50, obviously I don't need the XP, but if you're anything except, you know, except level 50, that XP is insane, especially if they do weekends like the double XP weekend or double score weekend or whatnot. You can literally sit here and level up extremely fast, which is actually how I hit level 50.
That's it, you got it.
So let's see. You can see in the last round we lost by, you know, a pretty significant loss, and this one we won by a very reasonable win. In there. So that is my biggest trick for this. Is you enter the match about 9:26. If you really want to do this the most efficient way, and you really want to do this the most correct way, or I should say the most determined way with a group. Like if you have a group of people that want to get to level 50, or if you just have a few people that want to help each other and win, then 3 people, you spawn at 9:26, they spawn at 9:26, so everybody spawns at the same time. You and another person go look for the hero power up, because with 2 people it's better. One person is going to draw the attention most likely. The other person is going to be the backup in the event that that first person is under too much fire or does get destroyed. The second person can pick it up. The third person's job, or even more if you have it, is they're going to run the bottom and scan for enemies, because somebody else is going to be doing the same thing on the other team. So you're going to want to run in and just say, okay, we're going to wipe these guys out. But again, if you're just by yourself, the tactic generally works. You know, there's a few games when it just doesn't. You know, I mean, it's just unfortunate because you're going to spawn in. You're going to have certain maps where, like Tatooine here, where you're just, the map elevation is going to be against you. So you're just going to be put into a battle that you're not going to be able to really get away from. You're going to get chased down, you're going to get shot down. Or just people are just going to spot you on the ground and say no. You know, they know what you're doing. Especially now, it's becoming more and more well known. Not a lot of people have seen this trick. Not a lot of people have really noticed it, because a lot of the Fighter Squadron videos that I have up where I talk about it are buried a few hours into a Let's Play. So people that see it live kind of notice it, but I've been playing this game for quite a while now. It's verging on 2 months. I'm well into level 50. I don't need anything, obviously. I don't see, like right there's this slave one spawn underneath it. So you're going to want to de-throttle, fly back at full force, grab it, and there's the slave one. Hello to everybody watching, by the way. I got distracted because I saw all the posts just now. Thanks for taking the time to check this out while I make this video. The biggest thing you're going to want to worry about is literally worrying about getting shot down. Oh, but as I was going with, I don't need anything anymore. I think it's just time to kind of share what I figured out. I know a lot of people seem to do this. I can't tell you how many people I've literally just jumped into games with, added to my party and told them, hey, let's go play Fighter Squadron. and I'll ask them, do you want to be the hero ship? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And I said, well, here's what you need to do. And they'll just say, oh no, it's okay, I'm not worried about it, or oh no, you know, that doesn't work, or how do you do that? And I'll tell them, and they'll ignore it. So, you know, it's one of those things, I guess. I don't know if they don't believe me or what, but then I'll pop in and I'll say, okay, well, if nobody's gonna get the hero ships, then I mean, I'll take it, just because I want to win. You know, I'm competitive enough to want to, and I'll take the Falcon every time, I'll take the Slave 1 every time, and then everybody gets kind of angry because they're like, oh, you're just running around the hero ship. That doesn't take any skill. Well, you know what, you're right. It really doesn't take any skill in the hero ship. But you're going to win. You're going to push the highest numbers. You're going to get all that, you know, bragging rights. And, hey, you know what, I like bragging rights, so kind of figure everybody else does too. So that is the reason that I'm kind of letting everybody in on this. Kind of letting you guys know what's up. Kind of got past the point of not wanting everybody else to know, and letting everybody else know. Which I have a feeling in about a month is going to come back and just really bite me in the arse, because I'm pretty sure anybody that sees this is going to go, oh, there it is, and then you're going to go hunt me down in every match and just try to break me. So, let's try to avoid doing that. If you see me, just jump over and let me know, hey, you want to play, because I'd rather be on my team than against me. Let's see, this is going to be a challenge because unfortunately the Slave 1 not as strong and not as efficient as the old Falcon is. A little bit harder to survive midfield with this. Oh, the other thing too, in the event that you're not familiar with the hero ships, or not familiar with Fighter Squadron in general, a lot of people don't know this, the more you dethrottle, the more efficient and the more powerful your blasters become. I did not defeat the Millenium Falcon. Game's lying. Didn't touch it. No idea how I defeated it. Didn't have a hand in that. Anyway, I'm glad I did, because that it's good for our team. Wow, my lock just went nuts. The faster you go, the less damage your blasters actually do, and it changes the trajectory of your shots. The slower you go, the more damage you do, the more efficiently you're going to hit something. And yeah, I got taken out by an A-wing, I know. Don't need to rub that in. The trick to the hero ships, if you're in a lobby with a lot of guys who don't target you, or they're not really familiar with the best way to play, because sometimes you just get it with noobs, it's great, you know, you're going to be very efficient, you're going to be very lucky. Just hit midfield, throw yourself about half throttle at first, kind of test the waters, see how the fight goes. If you're targeted a lot, you're getting beat down a lot. You may not want to really do that. You may want to try to find a spawn camp setup and run that. It's cheap, it sucks, I know, but you know, if you're trying to level, kind of thing to do. If you're not being smashed, if they're not beating the living tar out of your hero ship, then go into midfield and dethrottle as much as you can. Go completely out of throttle, completely into blaster, and just target everything. Just murder everything that you can find. I would say prioritize people over NPCs, but to be honest, I mean, once you get anything in your sights in a hero ship at zero throttle, you're going to kill it in about 2 to 3 hits most, depending on how fast it's moving. As the Slave 1, it is harder, because the A-Wings move so fast, the trajectory on that A-Wing is much worse than against a TIE Interceptor or a TIE Fighter. So you're at a slight disadvantage right there, and of course the Falcon does not have, or excuse me, the Slave 1 does not have shields. You do have the double missiles, which is really efficient against the transports. As soon as the transport pops in, just blow both missiles on it. Don't even worry about it, because the refresh time on the missiles and everything, etc., you can tear it apart. If you're against enemy players, I think the missiles are just a really bad offensive option. I kind of don't like the fact that the Falcon or the Slave One. I keep always saying Falcon. I don't like the Slave One has 2 missiles as its offensive bumpers, because if you look at the fact that everything's equipped with missiles, even the Falcon is, then you're looking at, you just double the missile count, and everything's equipped with the ability to evade missiles. So it seems like a very weak setup. Generally, it does spawn pretty close to one of these towers. So I'm going to fly out this way a little further, just closer to their spawn, which is actually a bit dangerous to do. And it spawned the same place that the Falcon did, or the Slave One did. And I just got taken out by another player completely by accident. Let's see if anybody picks it up. Haven't noticed anybody yet grabbing it. Well, we know. Oh, there it is, right there. That guy got it. Watch.
Enemy fighter is locked on you.
Yep. He happened to get it. See, one of those things where I got it right. Just I didn't do it in time. So.
They're locking with a missile.
Whoop. Well, I can't say I did it in time. I got taken out. It was just a random thing that happened, because there is no way that guy meant to just slam into me.
Got one on your tail.
It was just beautiful timing. I just think he just kind of got lucky, I guess. Or I got lucky. I got credit for the kill. I don't know if he did or not, but definitely one of those deals where it just happens. So
Our transport ship is about
unfortunately, it's gonna be a Falcon-less final round for me. Just wanted to kind of let you guys get an idea of what's going on here. You can watch our score just go through the roof with the Falcon down there having a heyday. The other big thing is, in the Falcon, the other trick that you're going to want to know is how to take out the Slave One every time. Because you can take out the Slave One every single time that you're in the Falcon, provided the guy's not doing weird stuff. Sometimes the people in the Falcon, they do some odd stuff. Do not hit the Falcon head on. Or, well, that's a good idea if you're in the Falcon, don't hit it head on. Don't hit the Slave One head on. The problem that you run into if you run the Slave One head on is it will destroy the Falcon 85% of the time. I'm not sure if that's just built into the way that the ship works and the collision for those 2 hero ships works, but hit it at an angle. Or the biggest trick is get behind it, because everybody dethrottles in the hero ship. Dethrottle is, you know, the number 1 way to go, because you're going to murder everyone. Get behind him. When he dethrottles, pop shield, ram into him, Slave One's gone. There's no defense to that. Nothing the Slave One can do to get away from it. So it's a 100% probability to kill every time. If you're flying toward him, if you really want to mess him, fly directly toward him. Right before you get to him, just hard left or hard right. Up and down doesn't seem to work too well because of the shape of the Slave One. It sort of gets the advantage over you. If you are going to choose up or down, go up. Down, because the reason I say it's a bad idea, because it seems like you're a bit weaker in that regard. It seems like the shape of the Slave One versus it hitting the top of the Falcon. You know, it's an advantage to the Slave One. But if you do it the other way, maybe. But if you do hard left, hard right, you should clip the 2 wings, and it will destroy the Slave One every time as well. So that is the most efficient means by which to rid yourself of old Fett. Okay, well, that's going to be the end of this. I hope you guys enjoy, got some useful information out of it, and have fun going around smashing on people. If you see me in the lobby, feel free to send me a message, a friend request or whatnot, which you can send a friend request anyway, and we'll team up. I don't like playing against my own strategy, to be honest with you. So, wouldn't mind playing with anybody that wants to play. Just let me know. I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll see you in the next video.